Hey guys, it's your girl Boonie, and you're listening to episode 112 of the Boonie Breakdown Podcast, your source for all things responsible and ratchet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This week, my guest is none other than Shika. We have not done an episode together in quite some time, just the two of us, but we have a good ratchet girl, Kiki. I don't even know how we ended up talking about the things we talked about, but it delivers for a fun, ratchet episode with you. We kind of go back down memory lane and talk about the times that we lost our virginity. And how that is so much different than where we are now in our sexual careers. Yes, sexual careers. So stick around for the conversation. Hop right into pick of the week this week. It's another podcast. It is not ratchet, but if you have not checked out the 1619 podcast, I really, really encourage you to listen. It is very well done. I like how each week they do something different, a different theme. We've talked about money. They've talked about music and how all of this ties back to slavery. So if you've not checked that out, I think it's on all streaming platforms. So check out podcast 1619, especially if you want something that's like historical. I still want to get my hands on the physical copy to have one, but those are pretty tough to come around. But if you have one, you got to hook up. Go ahead and DM me. I'm gonna send you my address so you can go ahead and mail it. Housekeeping, feedback from episode 111 with KG. It was very interesting. A lot of you guys, this is the episode we talked about Kanye West and Fantasia. And I had asked on Talk to Boonie Tuesday in our Insta story, I had asked, would you go to Kanye's Conde. I keep saying Conde. I don't know why I'm doing this. But would you go to Kanye's Sunday service? And a lot of people said, 65% of people said no. They would not go if it came to their city. And I'm like, wow. I'm going to let you know right now, Kenny and I are going to be there. If that shit comes to Baltimore, maybe even DC, Kenny and I are going to go. Only 35% of people say, yeah, hell yeah, they're going to go. A lot of you just said you can't get past, you think it is sacrilegious and it's blasphemous that what he's doing. So I'm just in this space, like I said in the episode, where I can appreciate good music without thinking that Kanye is some kind of prophet that is coming to save us all. So yeah. Also, I asked a question on Talk to Boonie Tuesday about what were people's thoughts on submission in relationships. And I got one really good response where it said there is value in submission, vulnerability, and listening in all relationships. And I would agree with that. And as someone who is working more on learning how to be vulnerable without viewing it as a weakness, I had read a passage from Brene Brown, who's kind of dope, and she described vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So yeah, you guys were really into this week's episode. I got a lot of comments about it, especially some of you said you guys appreciated KG's thoughts on how both partners have to submit at times if you truly have a partnership. That you're going to have to do, it's the ebb and flow, and some partners are going to have to bend sometimes and the other partner's going to bend on other times. So thank you guys for listening to last week's episode. All right, we're going to highlight a review. I want to shout out ATL John, my Philly John. But she says, Diamond in the Rough, oh my God, where have you been all my life? I absolutely love the gems that you drop along with your touch of sophisticated ratchet behavior. It's certainly my kind of carrying on, and you've become one of my besties in my head. I'm totally surprised that we never crossed paths at Temple. Looking forward to seeing you in Atlanta so that we can change that, sis. So yeah, shout out to ATL John for her 5-star review. And if you still would like to give a 5-star review, you can head on over to Apple Podcasts if you listen on any Apple device. If you listen on Facebook, you can leave us a 5-star review there. Remember, on SoundCloud, you can leave comments when you listen to the episode. You can do the same on CastBox. There's so many ways that you can interact with us. So again, just make sure you leave those 5-star reviews. And if you want to be like ATL John and see me in ATL, I'm not going to say ATL Shawty because somebody told me that was corny to still say that. So if you want to see me in ATL, if you want to see me in Atlanta on Saturday, November 9th, You need to head on over to thebooniebreakdown.com/live to get those tickets. All the early bird tickets are gone. So great. Thank you. You guys are awesome. We can now buy flights. Because if I didn't sell out them early bird tickets, I wouldn't buy no flights. Everybody was going to get a refund. Thank you for trying and going again. But I know some people are traveling in an hour and a half, 2 hours from outside of Atlanta to come to the show. And it really means so much to me, guys. You guys just really don't even know. It's just, it's mind boggling to me. So again, head on over to theboonebreakdown.com/live to get your tickets for Atlanta, November 9th. We have goodie bags. We're going to have libations. We're going to have a good time. You guys will get to meet Brian as well. And our guest from Atlanta will be Arkita from It's Arkita. You guys know her. I've met her before several years ago. So I'm excited to see her again. All right, you know the deal. Follow us on social media at The Boonie Breakdown on both Facebook and Instagram, and at Boonie Breakdown on Twitter. And when sharing this episode on across all your social media, please be sure to tag us. You can also use the hashtag The Boonie Breakdown, the hashtag PODIN, PODIN. I love it when you guys share it in your Insta stories, when you share it from Spotify or SoundCloud in your Insta story, because people can just click it and go listen to it right away. It just makes it so much easier, and I really do appreciate you guys for putting more ears and eyes onto the Boonie Breakdown podcast. So that is it for me, guys. So let's get ready to break it down. All right, guys, it's your girl Boonie, and I don't think we've done an episode just the two of us since we did that Rihanna Has a Man Party episode.
Absolutely. Rihanna
I,
appreciation.
I really think that was the last time. Hey, Shika.
Hey, boo. Hey.
What's
I'm happy to
up?
be here. Girl, nothing. I've just been I've been trying to live right and live life and be happy and shit.
Look, that's all you can do.
Listen, that's it.
I'm literally like, I was just before we started recording, I saw a picture of Rihanna. She's somewhere and she has bangs.
Oh,
And I'm just like, she really has put the Navy through it.
yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
at this point, like, I know she loves us, but it's one of those things where in life she's going to choose her before everybody else, and I'm going to accept that. Like, I get
look,
it. Me
I
too,
had made
Rihanna.
her I made her the pick of the week last week because I really do just love her. And like I said, she is the gift that keeps on giving. But
She does not care about us
sis,
and wanting music at all.
at
Because
all
we ended up
now.
watching that live because I sent it to you. I was up because I'm always up 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah, and
I
it's
mean,
so
like
funny.
waking up, but and
I'm
I'm
literally
looking
like,
at
I hadn't
it,
even brushed my teeth, and I'm on live with Rihanna. Like, yep.
and I'm like in there watching, and she's like, "Don't." She was like, "Ask me anything. Don't ask me about the album." And I was like, "True, okay, that was
Like,
strike
damn,
one."
bitch. That's
Then
the
she
only question we got.
right. Then she mentioned, "Okay, it's 11/11. I'm gonna make a wish that Rihanna gives us an album soonish." Okay, I don't care when, but soonish. But then the dream hopped up in that live and was like, nigga, where you at? She was like, yo, my nigga, let me know when you done designing and shit so we could get together. And she was like, oh shit, I'm like the pot calling the kettle black. And I was like, you're also self-aware. I can appreciate that too. Cause ma'am, we have been waiting. We're
It's
going
been
into 4 years, no?
we're good, and this is the longest the Navy has ever had to wait for music.
No,
Like,
because she was spitting out an album once a year, like
yeah,
the
yeah, she was
first
on that
7 years.
DMX shit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Welcome back to my main nigga Earl. I used to love, like, I'm so glad you said that because I was absolutely in love. That might have been my first love. Earl
Oh,
Simmons. And I met
my
him at
best friend used to
15.
love him too.
Yeah, I met him. I was like 15, 16, and like it completely made my day. I remember that day to I met him in front of Howard. But, DMX, I mean, he's a problematic
He looks
face, but
good.
he looks amazing. I'm proud of him. I think he got
He looks
married
really good in
again.
those Deco photos. Again, good
Yeah, I mean,
lord.
he's probably at 13 kids at this point. I'm not sure.
You know who had me dying this week?
Come on.
Tahoe.
I love Tahoe.
because he got people worked up about saying that, the music was good before the crack. And he was
Yeah.
just like, look, this nigga always been a
No,
crackhead.
he was so right. Because I do listen to Star Brand podcast. I think I enjoy her. She reminds me of Tuck Stone, but like the woman version. But I listen to, and
Okay.
then I get to hear Dustin twice a week. I enjoy him. So I,
I love
yeah,
Dustin.
I listened, and so I got what he was saying because she too loves DMX, and she was just like, the crack or whatever. And then I'm like, nah, he definitely was on crack. But when he went through the relationship with him and the
The
dog, I was on
dog,
the
that
floor. I was on the
that had
floor.
me dying. And then when he was on his Insta story and he was like, he played the lyrics from the
Yeah.
song, like he's like a thief in the night. He was like, crackheads do that shit.
Yes. No, because you know what? I never thought about that. I had never thought about that because we were what 14,
Yeah, like
15,
high
yeah,
school,
when
yeah.
DMX came out. But yes, yes, nigga, don't come. Nobody is allowed to come into my home, have sexual relations with me, and steal all my shit and leave me high and dry. That is definitely crackhead behavior. I get
That's
it.
crackhead
Yeah, he was
mentality. Yeah.
definitely on
So
crack.
that whole thing on Twitter and Instagram this week was really, really
And
gold.
he might have bumped up to coke, but he always had crackhead tendencies because he did crack before. So it's just,
Yeah, I mean, at least he looks
he
better
looks
now.
he
Like
looks
for a minute,
healthy.
he looked really, yeah, he looked really
Oh
ragged.
yeah, no,
But
he looks healthy.
those GQ pictures, I mean, he looks like a old fine nigga who used to
Yeah,
deal
yeah,
drugs.
absolutely. He
Like
looks like who he is. He looks like who he is. But I
exactly. I was like,
appreciate it.
okay,
I was very proud to see that. It's funny because my nephew actually that's how I saw it. My nephew, because I be MIA on social media sometimes, but my nephew like sent me the picture, like he added me on Twitter, and I was like, "Well, look at Earl. Look at
yeah, he looked.
Earl."
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, he looks great. He looks
Yeah,
really
I'm proud of
good. I always thought like of the rappers at the time, because that was like the late
him. Hmm.
'90s. He definitely was one of the cuter
Oh, for
ones.
sure. No, like that absolutely.
Crackhead
Yeah,
and
no, that
all.
absolutely. I think that it's where I began to realize I like a little nigga in my nigga. Like I like that. Like I was young, but it was like every magazine there was DMX posters all over my room. Like I was really much into that. So yeah, that kind of he had like set the stage for me. I was like, oh, I like this. I don't know why. And then Belly came out, and I was like, okay, I see you.
Belly, yeah. I think maybe that's what did it.
Him and
Belly upped
Keisha,
his sex
yeah, him and
appeal
Keisha,
factor.
yeah, and that they were all black and
Yeah,
shiny.
that scene, they were black. Yeah, they look like
Yeah, I wasn't even
licorice.
having sex, but I knew that was lit. Like I knew. I felt a way. I remember
Right.
watching it. I was like, "Oh, I feel a way. Like, what is this? What is this feeling?"
Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely wasn't then either, and was like, "Oh,
I want
okay."
that one
And
day.
then so speaking of that, like, can you remember, like, the first time you had
Oh.
sex and it not being like the things you saw? Like, I remember, like, the time, like, when I remember the day I lost my
No, me too. I
virginity,
remember
right?
that and exactly what happened.
I could tell you the date, year, and time probably, because it was a very specific moment in my day.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was, like, literally, I was a senior in high school, we left school during a free
Mhm.
period, went to his house, lost our
Mhm.
virginity,
Mhm.
came back to school, which
No, that's funny.
was
It's funny
funny,
because I have a
but I just
similar, but we were in college, and mine first, so this would be even more funny. Um, we discussed it via AIM chat, AOL chat. Yeah, yeah, RP to
RIP.
chat, AIM. We discussed it. We set a time and a date. He was not in a dorm at the time, so I went there. Um, we did it twice, actually, to my surprise, because I didn't know that's what happened.
Oh, look at
Yeah, it wasn't
you.
my fault. I wasn't the one creating this. He knew what he was doing. So, and I left because now hear me out. I did not spend the night. I left, right? Because in my mind, and I always hung out with a bunch of guys, right? So it was to me, it was just like, okay, well, we're not like together, but we're doing this. So I'll just go back. And the crazy shit was, I didn't even go back to my dorm. I had been in my homegirl's dorm. So I went back to their dorm and went to bed. Like, just up and left. And the next day, he definitely was on some like, yo, what the fuck was that? And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know. This is not how it goes. Actually, that would be the first time because you see things on TV and movies, whatever. When it's casual, yeah, you get your shit and go. And he was like,
Yes.
my nigga, what? And I was like, my bad. I don't know. I don't know.
That's so funny. Like, we literally I think it's, like, 2 things that I wish somebody had told me before the first time I had sex. One was that when you pee that first time,
Hmm.
it's gonna burn
Hmm.
afterwards.
Absolutely painful.
I was not like, the whole fucking experience, yeah, and that was the other thing, like, how
Nobody
painful it was.
says
Like,
how
the whole
painful it
fucking
is.
experience was literally pain. Like, I'm like, "What is happening?" And, I mean, people out there might know who my first is, but, like, I mean, it wasn't a small instrument, and so,
Yeah, no,
like,
nobody told
I'm
me,
like,
and I thought I knew what I was
I
doing.
was
Like,
just
not knew
not.
what I was doing, but I
Yeah.
remember, and this is how, like this is why I probably remember it so much. So I remember thinking he's in, and I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad.
Me
And then
too! And I was like, "Oh,
then
that
he like
wasn't it."
fully thrusted. I was like, holy shit, what is that? I was like, what is? I remember
Bitch,
bracing. I was like, no,
bitch.
wait a
It's
minute, wait.
I literally remember being like, "Okay, that wasn't that bad," and I was like, it's
I
more.
was like,
Oh, it's more."
whoa,
Like,
whoa, whoa, sir.
I was so
And I
tense the
asked him,
whole
I was like,
time.
"Yo, is this supposed to hurt like this? Like, yo, I'm like, this hurts." He was like, "You want me to stop?" And I was like, "Well, no, but like,
Yo,
what the fuck, dog?" Like, I was literally like, "What is this?
it
What's going on?"
yeah, and I did not like that, and then I was like, "Okay, you gotta go pee." I remember the people like, my friends told me, like, "You gotta go pee afterwards." So I go pee, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah!" Like, what
And I
just happened to
definitely
this
saw a
whole
drop
thing?
of blood, and
And
I was just
then
like, "Huh." I was like, "Wait a," and because I didn't see
yeah.
blood in the situation, so I didn't know, and I was like,
That's not how it looked in Love and Basketball.
right, like, she looked like she was shocked and like, "Ooh, this is a lot, but I got it." Now, I will say, having now my first was petty, so
Uh,
and I call it petty now. At the time, I did not know better. So, and I think I talked about it. I mentioned it briefly on the show before, but like the first time happened, he was just like, "All right, like, could you do it again?" And I was like, I guess." And then he was like, "Get on top," and I was like, "My nigga, what
yeah,
are we
that's
talking
wild.
about?"
Yeah, I was
And I did it like a dumbass. Like I straight
yeah.
up did that shit, and I was like, I mean, I could,
No,
I
sis.
guess.
No, sis. Sis, let me
I was
tell
like,
you.
"Do you not know that I don't? I've never like I told you. You know I ain't done
I
this.
I
But
definitely was into,
okay,
like, the double digits before I was like, "Okay, let's try a different like, okay, not the double digit partners, but times that we had done it.
yeah.
Like, okay, now we could try it a different way."
Oh yeah, no. Like I was just really like, oh, because again, I thought like, yeah, that's what people do.
But
That's I
then,
mean,
like,
I've seen porn. I was like, yeah, you definitely got rides, so figure it out.
on your second time a
I would
champ, so
I
every
would
time you
not
say
do
that,
that
I'm just
again.
like, "Oh my god."
No, because I remember I went back and told my friends, and they was like, "What?" And I was like, "What? No."
I'm trying to think the first time I rode a dick. I mean, I might have had some skin in the game under then, but I know it wasn't definitely it wasn't
No,
definitely a no
I was
first
really like that.
time.
Like that, y'all didn't do that. Y'all didn't. Now, what I will say is, now I did not give head for like a year. I did not. He was the first person I gave head to, but we went a long time because I think I was too nervous. I was gonna fuck it up. I didn't want to fuck it up.
Well,
You know
see,
what
with
I'm saying?
that I was the other way around. So, because I also
Mm.
went to school with white girls and they were just doing
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. That's
thing.
what they do.
So I was just like, "Okay." So that was, like, nothing to me, and I literally remember being the benevolent soul that I am. I
Yeah.
literally lost my virginity. Well, and I would have lost it to that person anyway, but I
Hmm.
decided to do it when I did because he was about to turn 18, and I was
Hmm.
like, "Oh my god, he can't turn 18 and be a virgin."
Not not have. Oh shit! Be a virgin.
So literally, what was the key was like, "Oh my god, he turns 18 in a week, like, so we
Let's do
gotta have sex
this.
now." So
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was just too kind of nervous to do it, but like he did not make me feel no way about it. Like, cause I got hit. Like,
Hmm.
so I just, I was like, all right,
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah, 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 no.
'Cause
But
you know
when
how
I,
some guys always
yeah,
act like, "Oh, no, I don't do all right, nigga,
and
bye."
maybe because I was honest, I was like, I don't know, like, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to like I'll get there or whatever. But when I did do it, I did receive a high five.
Well, that's good.
After the first time, I felt proud. I was like,
I
to
don't
me,
know if I ever said this in the podcast. I might have put it in a blog post way back in the day when Kenny and I did a blog, the he
mhm.
said, she said thing.
Oh yes, I remember.
And because this is the shit you do when you 16, 17. And I like, yeah, I always wanted to know if I was doing it right.
Mhm.
So the code was when it felt good, he would rub my nose like I'm a fucking dog. But that's what I
I
came up
mean,
with. That's what I came
when you
up
know
with.
better, you do better. It's all right.
So now being a 34-year-old woman, I look back at that like, oh my God, you really had this nigga's dick in your mouth and you're telling him rub your nose when it feels good. Like
Yeah.
you're a fucking pet.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, some of that young dumb shit was fun, but yeah, no, like I,
Let me
I,
tell
I
you.
stripped. Like I don't know if I will ever do that again, and not because it was a terrible experience, but because it's like, what the fuck are you doing, Shika?
Yeah, I feel like with
What are
the
you doing?
people when I was in my early teens and late not early teens, well in my mid to late teens or
Hmm.
early 20s, I think that's what I wanted to say. Like the stuff that I was doing, it was just that's when I learned that I liked the thrill.
That's yes.
So I was doing stuff like, oh my God, we could get caught by anybody. Like, oh my
Hmm.
God, my granny, the
Mm.
people at the harbor. Like,
Yeah.
it was just very like, whoo.
I don't. Yeah,
And
no, I didn't experience that. That's interesting.
yeah, it was because I was I learned very quickly. Like, once the pain went away
Yes.
and we got in a groove, I'm like, oh, I like this shit.
Yeah.
And so we were like, anytime we could get a chance, it didn't matter where we were.
Hmm.
If we could make it happen, we was gonna make it happen.
Oh,
And
you
that's
know
when we were like,
what? I
we
do
literally
agree.
would leave school. Like
I
we
do
had like
too.
senior projects or some shit,
Hmm.
and we would literally. This is the guy my first, and we would literally leave school like post up all day and just have sex all day long.
Yeah, no. And you know what? I agree. It's just that our setting was different. So I was just talking to Ashley about this the other day, and I was like, nah, like because we were just talking about like how relationships and like, if something happens where you're no longer having sex with your partner, da 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 da, like how would you feel? I was like, I mean, I could probably go some like a week or something, whatever. But then I
Uh-huh.
was thinking back, me and my first, we literally used to have sex every single day. That's what I did realize. I Much like you, I did not care who was around because I used to have sex in the dorm while my roommate was
Mhm.
asleep, like in the night, just
Oh,
tried to be
you a G.
quiet. Yeah, like yeah,
You a
I
G.
just realized that, yeah, but and that I would try most things once. Like I would try shit.
Okay.
But I have to be absolutely comfortable with trying it. But I would try some shit. Like don't say no wild shit to me. That's a hard that don't none of my hard passes. But most things if somebody asks me, I'm like, huh? Oh, let's see. And if I don't like it, then I just won't do it again. But I realize that you have to. He taught me that you have to like try things.
Yeah, I learned that very early on that I have to try things, and I feel
Hmm.
like that has carried me far.
Same,
I just
same sis.
I like to try and to explore, but I really was recently thinking back to that like the infancy of my sexual career
Hmm. Hmm.
and like where it is now and like things you wish you do different, which it I don't have many regrets.
Me
Not many.
neither. I mean, I've. Look at me stuttering because it's that traumatic. No, but like I've had two instances where like it was just too small, like too like.
Now,
And
okay,
I
okay.
just think, and I never went back. I never tried it again. I didn't give them any second chances. I was just like, wow, like this really happens. Like,
No,
didn't I
I
know they were there type shit. I was like, what the hell? And I was in my early 20s when that happened. I was like, oh, child, like, what is
so yeah, I've had
ghetto?
both. I've had once in my early 30s and then once in my early 20s. The one in my early 20s was like just pathetic. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I, I look back, I don't even count him.
Yeah, same, same. Those two don't get counted. And one is when I decided to have sex with
No.
the white guy. And I was just, after that, I was just like, I know it's not across the board. I recognize that. I'm never trying that again.
Yeah, I did, and then the other one I got faked out because I just knew, like, oh, I knew this was gonna be,
Oh,
and it wasn't.
don't you hate a fake out? But see, you know
I
what?
do,
Now that I think
and
about it, they, it's going to sound really crazy, but they definitely had um what I would call little dick tendencies. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Like the one guy
what is a little dick
so
tendency?
here's it is, they will delay having sex with you, right? So the one guy I had met, and I might have graduated, and this is when I was living in Philly, but I met him at FISO or whatever. He was super nice, cute, whatever. He was a barber, and like he used to come past my apartment. We used to chill outside and talk. Like we used to just talk all the fucking time. Talk,
Uh-huh.
talk, talk, talk. And I'm like, nigga, when are you trying to get some pussy? Like, what's going on? I am ready because at this point now you like so this is the first time and it's so fucking corny because I had read Steve Harvey's book and they came out around that same time. So I'm like, oh, is this the 3 month shit? Okay. What we literally talked for 3 months. We talked for 3 months and it was so sad because it was the night of my birthday, like July 2nd, midnight. Like, you know what I'm saying? They had just turned July 2nd. And I was literally laying there like, wow, fuck my birthday. And I remember afterwards, and it didn't even last long. And I was texting all my friends back, and one of my homeboys was like, texting me, and I was like, yo, I just had the worst sex of my life. Like, I can't believe it.
So,
So I think delaying um
I was gonna
is one
say
of the
that
characteristics.
I would agree with that, and another little dick tendency I will say would be, they'll never let you reach for the meat.
No, they try.
You
They
grabbing
don't get
and
physical much at all.
yeah, like, you know how sometimes you kissing and
Hmm.
you go to rub nope, they pull their pelvis
Yeah,
back like, "Nigga!"
yeah. Like what are you hiding from? Let me see, please.
And the thing is too, it's not even guaranteed,
That could be
like
balls. You got big balls. I don't know. It just gives
yeah,
us something. Like let me know. But if you're acting insecure about it, then I know that you have an insecurity about it. Whether it curves too far to the right or it's hella small, like whatever. I know there's an insecurity about it.
no, for sure. I would definitely think I would agree with your first one too about the prolonging. Now, I've only had this instance twice, but I think the even worst part about it are the ones who sneak by because they really just don't know. They don't
Mhm,
know.
mhm,
And I think that's rare
mhm.
that they don't know. Because I was actually
Yeah.
talking to somebody recently who I know has a big dick,
Mhm.
like a big dick. And I asked them because I'm
Mhm.
curious. I was like, because he acts like he has a big
Right.
dick. And I was just like, at what age? Like, when did you know? When was the moment? When did you know that you had a big
Very
dick?
good question. Yeah.
Because I'm just curious. Like, when did you find this? Like, this is useful
Yeah.
information. And the response was like he honestly didn't know because I was thinking like in gym class locker room
Me too.
situation, and he was like, no, it's not like how girls think. Like you niggas just out here whipping their meat out and,
Right.
and drying off. Like he was like, no. He was like, I honestly did not know for a long time. He was like, but until he met this one girl and was like, she was just like,
Yeah, like she
damn.
like let him know.
Yeah, he was like nobody ever told him. So he just thought he was okay or like average. And I was
That's
like,
so interesting.
nobody before her. He was like, no. He was like, I was like, even to yourself, even watching porn.
Right.
He was like, no, like, I don't know until somebody told me.
Hmm. I just feel like if I had a penis, I might be more aware of like if it's big or not.
Yeah, I was
I
just
feel
so
like a
shocked.
lot of
Like I just
guys
figured,
explore with the ruler, pretty young. I thought. I mean,
yeah,
I've heard, huh. But you know what? I will.
yeah.
I mean,
I just
yeah,
figured at some point in your
yeah.
life,
I
I
mean,
don't
if it's
know. I guess it's different
a
because
big
like
dick,
women
yeah,
got titties and you can't hide
right,
it. Like, oh, those titties big compared to my
yeah.
like. So I just figured
Well,
like,
well, I would say I'm. I don't want to say this. Fuck. Hmm. I'm trying. Well, my daddy. Look.
say
Well,
it.
my daddy let me know he don't listen. He just likes to support.
He be liking the pictures.
It's so funny, but I don't think I realized what a fat vagina was for a very long time. Like I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And
As I'm
yeah,
nodding
yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah,
side.
yeah.
Go
Like
ahead,
I
stop.
didn't know until when I knew when fucking Parasucos came out, and I had on a pair of Parasucos, and I was like, huh, hmm, like, mm, like should that be seen? And I remember being
Why is that so
no,
fucking
because I
funny?
remember being extreme. Like my t-shirts, I felt like I needed to come a certain length or any short period with wearing them because I was just kind of like, I don't know, like if people should see this. Like I'm concerned. And then you see other people and you don't see that, and I'm just like, confusion. Because nobody's fucking talking about that at what 16. Parasicles was
Yeah.
big, like 15, 16, maybe 14. No, like 14. It was beginning of high school, so like maybe 14 through 16. Yeah, nobody was talking about that. Yeah, no, no, no. I got it, and then I
Yeah.
started, and like I worked at the Gap at 16 on, and like I bought a lot of Gap jeans, and that's what like stretch boot cut jeans was coming out and shit. And then I would notice,
Boot
right,
cut.
which is coming back, but I would notice sometimes like you can tell when someone's looking at your vagina. I was like, oh, yeah, this must not be common that people can just see your vagina. Like that's a problem. Like I became self aware of that.
Put your
Yeah,
pussy
like
away,
let
ma'am.
me okay, let me wear a long shirt. Like I really came aware of that, and plus I'm short anyway, so most people have to look down at
You
me.
are.
So I am very. I mean, I noticed that too with like boobs. I'm very aware of like when someone's looking down at me in a way that they're like paying attention or they're looking at something on me because I'm always looking up. Like I'm so
Mm.
like so I could get like maybe he ain't know, but I'm sorry. I just felt like if I would have if dudes watch porn or whatever, like you might feel like if you feel comparable to these guys, then I would think that you thought your dick was big. I don't know, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I just figured, I don't know. I just thought that was just so interesting. I had never asked anybody, when did you know you had a
I
big
remember
dick?
the first time I came in encounter with like a big dick. I,
Shit,
I
bitch, I'll
was
never
drunk,
forget it.
right? But like he literally told me what I said, and I was just like, I ain't shit, because I was just like, wow, like damn, like I literally
Yeah,
expressed like, whoo, yikes. All right, take it
yeah,
easy,
when
bro.
if I had to like and it's so bad because I feel not bad, but and I can't do it now because it would be totally disrespectful. But the guy who was my
Hmm.
first, like, I wanna kinda go back and be like,
Yo, you had nice meat.
"This bud's for
Yeah.
you." Yeah, like, 'cause I mean, just like in a draw, like, you was my first. I didn't know, but when I look
Like,
back,
huh,
I'm like,
I lucked out.
yeah, I mean, if I had to put grade A Boonie stamps on the meat I've had, it just be
Yeah.
up there. I mean, it was a nice piece of meat.
Yeah, no.
And I don't think I've ever told him that, and I don't think
Yeah,
he
no. I,
listens.
right, right, right.
But if you do
Shout out to you, bro.
sir, shout out. I never told you, but you have a
Mhm. Yeah, I literally,
yeah,
I
you
gasped.
got a nice
I remember
hammer.
the shock. Like I didn't remember everything I said, but I remember the shock. I was like, whew. Like I gasped.
'Cause wait a minute, you know when the dick is meaty and heavy with that first
Yeah, no,
insertion,
and I didn't.
and you do
Hmm.
a and you do a
Yeah, you gotta inhale. You
yeah.
gotta inhale. You gotta take that air in. You gotta breathe through it.
So fellas, if you're fucking and you gonna put the dick in and she don't do a
Yep. Mhm.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and
That's your
but
measure.
I guessed when he put it out to put the condom on, I was like, "Shit, she could like what the fuck?"
Now, yeah. I
Okay,
mean, I try not to gas
I
niggas
was
up too
Friday, didn't even
much.
matter.
So when I look at it, I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, okay."
Yeah, yeah, no, like if I wasn't as fried as I was, it was a very wild it was a wild night. This was when I was wilding. Like my mid-20s, I was doing whatever the fuck, wherever the fuck, however the fuck.
As you
Yeah,
should be
like
at
I
your
didn't care, but
20s.
yeah, I was like sitting on a dresser at some house party that I won't say. Um where it was. And yeah, and I remember being extremely drunk that night, but I remember he like took it out. I was like, oh shit. All right.
Yeah, I remember too. Like
Okay.
this, yeah, it's like I have two. Yeah, so it was one. I'm getting motherfucking tongue tied. Like I was like, "Whoo, my lord!" Like, and that one was also not vaguely, but slightly
Hmm.
intimidating because I was like, "Man, I kind of been talking
Oh
shit."
yeah. Yeah. No, I wasn't sure. Like I gave a disclaimer. I remember the disclaimer because I was kind of like, look, I haven't had sex in some months, right? So like, I don't know. But take it easy and I'm sure. Just start out easy on your girl. Like, cause I don't know. I was really like, I don't know. I was not sure. And on top of that, he got the gas.
Yeah,
I really gassed him that day. Like, yeah,
yeah, you did. You giving
yeah,
them
that's
all
probably
types of.
yeah.
But I'm telling you, fellas, right now, if you're listening and you fuck a girl and she don't
Yeah.
do the
That means you just slid on in and it didn't
something,
really like,
okay.
you know.
Since we're going
Okay,
here, I'm
all
gonna
right.
go here.
I didn't even know we was being ratchet today. Check us out.
Me neither. I didn't know where we were going. This is not anything I have written down, but fuck it. So I don't anymore, but in my
Mhm.
past life, I have faked an orgasm or two.
Mhm.
I tend not to do
Mm.
that now.
That's very true.
Um I can tell the difference between my fake orgasms and
Mhm.
my real ones. And I laughed because the other day I was being spicy and was trying to send a nasty voice memo to
Oh God.
somebody. Sometimes it's not always about the
Yeah,
visual.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you
yeah.
need to send a voice thing, right? So I'm trying to send it, and I was like, man, this sounds so whack. So I instantly just went into, okay, act like you faking. And that shit was like theatrics on theatrics. And I started laughing because I was like, that is not how I
Yeah,
sound
no.
when I come. So I'm like, shit, if we actually do
Right.
have sex, he's gonna be like, bitch.
That ain't what I heard. That ain't what
So
I heard.
I'm like, fuck, now you're gonna like now I done fucked myself up. But I really do. I feel like I have one of the calmest orgasm sounds. Like I
Mhm.
sound very calm, but it
Mhm.
sounds like me.
Okay.
If you can, I would do. I told y'all this is seasons ago. It's like the World Orgasm Library, and I submitted my real orgasm to this
Oh,
library.
I
It was
remember
very cool to
this.
do. I'll link it again in the show notes if you want to submit yours, or even if you just want to listen. But yeah, I was just laughing because now I'm like, oh my god, I think I kind of like fucked myself up a little bit there.
Your preview was a little bit off. The trailer ain't gonna be like the movie.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, fuck,
No,
bitch, you should
I
have just
will
sent the
think
first
back to
one.
the times I used to do like I had met a guy and he lives in Delaware, so we used to do phone stuff. I could not like not actually masturbate and do it because I knew
Mm.
it wasn't gonna come out the right way. Like it wasn't. I just felt like it was going to sound fake. And even when I think of times like I don't even know if I've faked a full orgasm. I've maybe faked enjoyed. Um, yeah, it's like I just be making noise, just Like, be trying to time it with the stroke, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, honestly, I can really lay here and not make any type of sound.
Yeah, I'm a very, I'm not a super loud. It's which is funny because I'm very loud in real life.
Yeah, I'm not very loud.
Um, and,
Mm,
like, my laugh is very robust, but my orgasm is not as robust as my laugh, if you can imagine.
yeah, I feel like it's more of a body experience. I don't get that much sound. Now, if I'm fried, I might. But I might have a word. It's breathy. It's more breathy than anything. But I feel like my body reacts more so than my voice.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
my
It's not a lot of,
body is, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah. No,
doing
no,
all
no,
that.
nah, nah. And if it's getting like, if I know I'm getting there, like I'm like in a zone where what if anything is probably breathing. It's probably the quickening of the breathing more so than actual noises.
Yeah, I'm not,
And so
like,
like I can't even
that porn
think,
star
yeah,
shit, I'm
nah.
not doing all
Because
that.
sometimes some sounds just come out and it's like, oh, that was nice. Don't know what the fuck that was, but okay.
'Cause I've even stopped listening to porns before when the bitch is just doing too
Oh
much.
yeah, me too. I definitely, that's why I be having 50,000 tabs open. And then as I go through, if I see in the first couple of minutes you're giving me the most, I'm exiting out and I'm clicking on another tab. Like I can't do that.
Yeah, all that,
Yeah, oh my God.
shut the fuck
Like,
up,
what
like,
are
I
we
can't do this.
doing? It's not like,
Yeah.
no, no, yeah, I don't like it. That's funny though.
So, that's the other thing too is, like, I also do not enjoy a person who, when you're fucking, they're, like, narrating, like, "Yeah, put your leg up there while I like, shut the like."
Yeah, don't be asking me questions, and I get it. Like, it depends. And see, I think it depends, and I think that's why like it's so fickle, right? Because like I feel like if I really fuck with you, I might, I might let some shit slide. Like you might can ask me, whatever men ask, like whose pussy is this? Does it feel good? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'll
You
do that
might,
kinda
but
stuff,
like
but, like,
I know there's been times that someone has asked me that I'm like, if you don't shut the fuck up.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
When people ask questions
Yeah,
during sex and I don't wanna answer, I
me too.
moan.
Absolutely, absolutely. What?
"Whose pussy is this?"
Mm.
"Mm."
Mm. I may fuck with you and say what and make you repeat it and still not answer. Like, what the fuck are we talking
Yeah.
about? What are we talking about? And it's so funny because I have mad memories of shit like this, but I think I told you how a blast from the past came back and was like, "Yeah, so you did mention that you be doing a podcast sometimes now. I actually listen." I was like, "Shit." As soon as he said it, I was like, "I know exactly what I said about you. God damn it."
Listen, I am one person I was talking to, I'm like, I'm pretty happy that they don't
Mhm.
listen because there it will be certain things if depending on what episode they listen to, it would be certain things I've shared, they would be like,
Right.
I knew
No,
that.
and he
Yeah.
actually told me he
No,
was tight
nigga.
at first. He was like, "Nah, at first I was mad." And I was like, "Why? You did it." And then he was like, "Nah, then that shit was mad funny." I was like, "Yeah, because you were absolutely ridiculous." So, but yeah, he definitely enjoyed a lot of talking and I would just not answer him.
Yeah, I'm not big and fond of
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying to have a
Um,
moment here. I'm trying to feel. I don't even be trying to think, yo. So you asking me questions like literally it's a movement, it's a feeling for me. I'm not really trying to think. Like, I don't wanna think
yeah,
it through.
I shared this, I think it was the Philly live show where one weird thing, like, I can be completely butt ass naked,
Mhm.
but I will have on
Oh, yeah,
socks.
absolutely. Because I had read years
They
ago.
make your
Yeah, you're
orgasms
and you're
intense.
more likely to have one. And you know what? It's so crazy because
Yeah,
I remember.
it control and so it's not just because 'cause you're on
Mhm.
socks, people, it's
Yeah.
because your socks keep your feet warm,
Full
which
circle moment
creates your
here.
body temperature. It helps
Mhm.
regulate your body temperature. So when your body's a certain temperature, your orgasms can
And
come
I feel like
easier.
I picked
So
on that earlier because when my first I remember I used to always tell him, "Yo, like, my feet get mad hot." Like they be getting hot. Like when I'm
mhm.
getting close, because I mean, I think I experienced orgasms with him, so it was pretty early on. But like I remember how hot my feet used to get. And I didn't
Yeah,
like it,
I
and I feel like
definitely
sometimes with the socks, you don't feel how hot your feet are actually getting. But yeah, I don't know. But I read that and I was like, well, god damn it, I'm keeping the socks on.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
science. And then I remember this one nigga, he always would joke because he was like, "You don't never have on socks that match." And I
Oh god, that
never,
was my thing too
never
for a while. Cause what else am I gonna use them for?
yeah, I never had socks that match. And so I laughed because it was this one time, and if he I doubt he listens to this, but if he's listening, he's gonna crack up. Like it's this one time we're having sex and he was such a workaholic that his BlackBerry
Oh
went off
gosh.
while we're fucking. And so he grabs it and he's responding to an email, but he's still
Oh,
stroking.
multitasker.
And he's literally in his phone, like texting and stroking. No, look, ma, no hands.
Right.
And I grabbed my phone and I took a picture of this. And so it's so funny when I went back, I still have the picture. When I looked back at it, my feet are resting on his
With
shoulders
non-matching socks.
with mismatched socks.
That's funny as shit, dog. Like what? That is so funny. Actual
It's
proof.
one dark gray and one light gray sock. And this shit is so
Yeah, no, I
fucking funny.
absolutely always use my mismatched socks. Like that was the like what else am I gonna throw on these are my house socks now because obviously.
Oh, I do the fluffy socks, them big old winter
Mhm.
socks,
Mhm.
hospital
But
socks.
yeah, it's definitely a scientific fact. So ladies, throw your socks on every once in a while.
Put your socks on, bitch. Yeah. But I will take
Oh
everything else off. I
yeah,
don't
me
like to have
neither.
nothing else
I
on,
don't want that.
but I will have on some pair of
I
socks.
don't want that.
Now I'm so conscious about the mismatched socks that I think I buy too many socks. Like,
Mhm.
I'm
Oh,
always
I
in fucking
always
Marshalls
get
like, "Oh, I
socks,
could
and
get some
it's
more.
funny because my mama know I
I
love
could get
socks,
some
so
more."
she be buying me socks, and I just, yeah, I'm always getting a new sock, man. I'm always getting a new sock. That's so funny because now I think about it when I selfie, like if I self up, I don't always like completely take everything off. Sometimes I do, but not always. It depends. Depends on how fast I'm trying to get
Yeah.
it done.
Well, I mean, it depends on the situation
Yeah,
that's upon
yeah,
us.
yeah,
So, sometimes there's no room to take off your clothes. Sometimes you just have to, like,
yeah,
just pull something up, pull it to the side, and roll
yeah.
with the punches. But, yeah. I mean, this has been
Yo, we really did. Nope. This is not where we were going at all. But here we are.
this was not where
Here
I
we
was
are, spice up
going.
the Mondays or whatever day of the week you choose to listen. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I'm just this is so funny to
We
me. I
always
know
get it though. This is who we are. Like, and this is who we are together. We find our way here. Like,
it
I'll
is.
text Adrian some random shit during the week. Like, bitch, like, I just choked myself while I was like masturbating. It is getting bad.
And I
Yeah,
never judge
because I'm
her.
like, if I gotta tell somebody this, because I laugh at myself, like, wow, ma'am, really took it there. He was really feeling it. Okay. And afterwards, someone was like, ah, wow, Shika, who can I tell? I'm like, yo, shit's wild. Because it's funny because sometimes I'll look at your stories in the morning and I'm like, oh, you'll tweet horny AF. And I'm like, yeah, same. That's probably why I choked myself this morning.
It is
It's
absurd. It
bad,
really
man.
is
It's bad.
absurd.
They ain't
I don't know. So we're like heading into
mm.
cuffing season. Are you participating? Are you trying out right now? What's happening?
So, I don't know, right? I would like to participate. I I'm not feeling niggas though, like the ones who are around right now. I think that's part
All
of it.
right.
Like I said, someone from the past came back and like we hung out once, but I just really, I set a boundary that I felt like he did not respect off break, and I was just like, okay, I see how this going to be. I'm not going to do this again. So I've just kind of been dodging and like weaving and Xing people out. So I'm open. I just don't know where I'm gonna meet them. Cause I told you how I was swiping mad fast on Tinder at the nail salon, and I ain't read the dude profile. It turned out he was married, and we had a whole conversation about it. And I was just like, yeah, like not what I'm looking for, but like, my bad, sir, because I ain't read your profile. That's on me. Like that's my fault. But it's like that's the type of shit I'm running into. And I'm just like, I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was about to say, how you feel
I
about it?
will be there. I'm 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 throwing
You
my
know, I'm
motherfucking hat
trying.
in the ring.
Look, I'm gonna try to get my ass outside a little bit more these next couple of weeks.
I'm I'm definitely,
Nice. Are you
corralling
going
a
to
little
homecoming?
roster.
Speaking of rosters, that was petty, but
Ooh.
nah, because me and Marisha just decided. I think we just decided. Matter of fact, when I meet up with her in a little bit, I need to look at Airbnbs. So I figured I asked.
I thought
Hmm.
about this.
You could do the
Maybe
day.
I could. I just have to be yeah, I have to be
Okay.
back for something on the 13th. So I probably could come up
Yeah. One year,
maybe for
me
the
and Shan did
tailgate and
that.
come
We
back.
drove up for the joint.
But y'all be
Nah,
getting
I
fucked
be
up,
fucked up.
like,
Like, ma-
so I'm gonna have to, like yeah, I'm
you
gonna have to,
know,
like,
they
eat
girl, they
and,
roasting a
like, maybe
pig, they
not even
frying fish.
myself.
Like, it's gonna be food. You know, they be having mad food now.
Okay,
I
so,
remember me
yeah,
and
I mean,
Kenny got me
I
fried last
probably
year.
could
We fried together. And Ash.
oh, yeah, I'm like, I could play myself, but the event I'm coming to
Mm,
is, like,
okay.
2:00
Oh, that'll give
on
you time.
Sunday,
So you
so
get back by 7.
yeah, so
Because I feel like they got an early game, but yeah.
yeah, so I could
Yeah, but
yeah,
I'm
I could
trying to
chill. I
participate.
mean,
No,
you
heck,
actually go
fuck,
to the
girl,
game?
no. I've been in a parking lot for 5 bad hours. Like 5 hours. I've been in a parking lot all day. Drinking, eating, and everything
Okay.
else.
So, yeah, so that's my thing. So, if
Okay, well, we'll discuss. We'll figure it out.
yeah, yeah, one of those people up there might be in the roster too.
Yeah.
Homecoming is always a
Hmm.
good
No,
time
some
to
no things be happening
stack your
sometimes. Yeah,
roster with
sometimes
for
things
dicks from
happen.
the past.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to get out a little bit more. You know, I would like to like throw a person or two on my roster. It just hasn't been working out the way I would like it.
Yeah, if I could
Yeah, I
get a
just need
steady
two.
rotation
I'm
of
good with two.
2, I would
Yeah, this
be
guy be
happy with
texting
that.
me, but like I thought he would be cool because he's like a I ain't gonna say because niggas are sneaky and he
Uh,
might listen because he yeah no I'm not about to say it anyway. But what he does for a living, I was like, oh, I like you seem cool and you do that. That's a bonus. But I'm not really feeling him, so he don't do not disturb and I speak when spoken to. Leave it
alright.
at that. Yeah.
Do not disturb is a gift. Even though, what's the worst? Like, I woke up this morning to a text dumbly. I mean, of course, that's the worst. Like, I was literally up,
Hmm.
like, 30 minutes before that,
Oh
if and
man.
communicating with the person. And then I wake up and it's, like,
Yeah.
4 hours ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck."
Yeah, that always sucks.
I just rolled back over
Yeah.
and went back to sleep,
Can't win
like,
them all,
"Fuck."
but it'll
So,
happen.
yeah.
I got faith though. You
It
know.
will. Me too.
Yeah, we got this.
So, alright, well, here's to cuffing season,
Yeah,
bitch.
cheers. Let me flick my lighter.
Alright. You little Wayne bitch.
I felt inspired. No, because funny shit, I went to Miami last weekend and all I could think about was Lil Wayne single because I'm single. And I literally had to play it for myself. I was like, no, I gotta feel it because he be
You gotta
riding
flick the
down
wrist,
Collins.
flick the wrist. That's funny.
Yep.
So,
All
alright,
right.
boo.
Thanks for having me.
Thank Of course, it was always
Per
fun.
use.
Thanks to Shika for coming on the podcast this week. I told you guys it was ratchet. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some good laughs. Again, Atlanta folk, I can't wait to see you guys November 9th for Boonie Live there. And if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or any app that you listen to your favorite podcast on. Don't forget to leave those reviews too. 5 stars only. You might just hear a review on the next episode. Follow us on all social media. Share the episode with those you love, those you don't love, those you fucking hate. I do not make these pretty images for nothing. Okay. Have a dope ass week. Thank you for listening. And remember, the ratchet in me always honors the ratchet in you. Homaste. Until next time.